Alright, everybody, Mr. Ponytron back once again. I know, guys, it's been so long since I made a video, but, I'm bringing you something different today. This is Action Comics number 1000, and, I've been in a part of the comics community for 3 or 4 years, and got this at my local comic shop, my LCS, and by the way, this is a brilliant cover by Jim Lee, and just dang. I was also looking into trying to get some of the variant covers with the different ages and whatnot, or decades rather, like 30s, 40s, stuff like that. I like the 40s one the best, to be honest. But anyway, so basically it starts off and Superman's here trying to basically save the Earth from these dudes known as the Crones, and there's Supes right there, and basically Superman is trying to keep himself busy because a whole lot of people they're having like this celebration of Superman, like people, yeah, like right here, and people saying how they, oh man, that's bad glare, but let's see, zoom in, how do I zoom? Let's see, still trying to figure out the features. Whatever. If I can't zoom in, I can't zoom in. But anyway, here's this big old celebration, and it has a whole lot of people getting ready to just to celebrate Superman for Superman Day. And I mean, okay, it's kind of like in Captain America 695, but sadly, yeah, that one didn't bode over well. But this one, however, was actually pulled off basically perfectly, pretty much. So, and this is a fantastic story. This one's by Dan Jurgens, and we all know a lot about Dan Jurgens, a brilliant Superman writer, and all these people are just saying how cool Superman is and how he basically saved their lives in everyday situations, or at the brink of death, really. But there's that, and but then Superman realizes that the Crones are doing something weird, or just trying to figure stuff out about the Crones, but the rest of the Justice League pretty much took care of it while he was waiting there at the ceremony, to where a lot of people were just thanking Superman for saving their lives, and there's and this. Now these pages I really loved, because they basically Wonder Woman here basically says that without the creation of Superman, there wouldn't be any other superheroes in the DC universe. So I thought that to be just very, very well executed. Love it. Now we go on to this story, which I thought was rather intriguing. So this guy here, Vandal Savage. Now, basically in this story, he has Superman in a sort of time loop, where here he is in, like he was back in the 30s, again, and there's like in the 40s and things, and within a tank, and I just love this art. It's freaking beautiful. And this one was by Peter J. Tomasi, brilliant writer. I've read a few from the Super Son, some of his Super Sons run, and just brilliant. And yeah, for the most part, a lot of good things have come from this book, and I kind of like this shot here as well, where it kind of, in a sense, it kind of reminds me of the first Superman film with Christopher Reeves back in the 70s, where Zod and his two cronies are trapped in the dark dimension within the huge floating mirror thing, and my friend Crack Dinkwell, he found this scene, or the look on Superman's face, like pretty terrifying, and I was like, yeah, he looked like he was pretty scared out of his mind. There's Fortress of Solitude here, and I love this page too, because basically this was the return of Superman after the death of Superman in the 90s, and this is when he comes out of his kind of like a cryo chamber, I guess, in this black Superman suit where he had like the long hair and whatever, and was fighting Darkseid, and this beautiful image, I love it. And let's see, can't show all that now. So now this story was interesting. It had basically this principal was holding a crap ton of people hostage at the school, and but it wasn't really him. It was actually someone messing around with it in his mind, and it wasn't. It was Brainiac, I think. It was Brainiac, and hang on. But yeah, like here he said he had voices in his head, and he doesn't want to obey them or whatever, but he was able to like he was able to like fight them off somehow, but like this lady said here, don't shoot, he's dropping his gun, but like they shoot him anyway because he still seemed to be a threat for some reason. But I guess I don't know. I mean, like he did get away, and like he didn't die or anything, so that's good at least. And here we have, like, here this lady is talking to, shoot, what was, what was that lady's name? It was, Maggie Sawyer. And, but anyway, she was talking to this homeless dude, and she was like, "Hey, you want to go to the homeless shelter or whatever?" And he doesn't say anything. Then it looks like he has he's being taken control of from Brainiac, and basically why Superman wasn't really in much of this one. He was basically fighting a whole lot of Brainiac's drones or whatever that were in Japan, and he couldn't help there, but this lady was able to help a lot of them, so, and the police force there, so that was cool. And I love this bit. It homages, it calls back to the very first Action Comics #1, and this car here belonged to the dude that, like, this guy here. But yeah, so this guy, basically the story behind this guy is that he was basically harassing Lois and Clark at this party or whatever, and Lois and Clark were dancing and things, and this guy butted in, and after this guy left, he Superman went after him, and this guy basically told him, like, told the guy at this guy here at the shop, saying, and the shop owner, he's like, what'd you do, to hit an elephant or something? And he's like, no man, it was a guy. And he's like, what, a guy? What are you talking about? And like he thought he was like just nuts, and he just thought like how crazy strong Superman was, and he was freaking out. But I love this shot of the Golden Age style Superman. It was just brilliant, and it's kind of cool because we get some kind of backstory on this guy, and how, like, he didn't have like a very good childhood, and stuff like that. But basically was, this dude was basically orphaned and things, and whatever else, and had this crazy sad upbringing. But this was a nice little short story, and he decided to, you know, change for the better, I guess. But Craig Dinkwell and I laughed at this when we were reading it. Then, like, he just wanted to have a little fun. It's like spraying people with the fire hydrant. That was just friggin' brilliant, in my opinion. And this story I found rather intriguing with with the Superman and Lex. And Lex had this little mechanism that can help them, basically help them see like the past and such, and look through it and get like see memories and things. And turns out Clark Kent and Lex Luthor were in a science class together, and they were trying to do like this kind of experiment thing with chemicals, and young Clark here knew that it was going to be dangerous, and but he helped to where it wouldn't be dangerous in a sense. Oh, I almost forgot something here in this story with Vandal Savage. Basically, when he was putting... My bad. Basically, when he was putting Superman in a time loop... There's the zoom. When he was putting Superman in a time loop, he... Superman basically reverted back to his original powers back in the 30s, like leaping tall buildings in a single bound, running faster than a speeding bullet, things like that. But he didn't actually fly. And I love how in the caption boxes here, he basically said that he was missing a lot of his powers, and that's how it was back in those days. And like, he didn't learn how to fly until later on, and the laser vision and the cooling breath and things came along much later. And I thought that was a really nice touch. But yeah, so anyway, with this story with Lex, it's actually kind of interesting. Like, it was kind of bittersweet in a sense. Or no, not bittersweet. Sorry. This story was bittersweet. Oh, by the way, this one's by Scott Snyder. Beautiful, just great writer. He does this stuff really well. I've read quite a bit of it. I've read quite a bit of his Batman stuff, and really good. So here's this story where where Superman is talking to somebody, well, basically at the brink of basically the end of the world or whatever, and that he, Lois, and John were basically taking some sort of formula called the eternity formula, to where they basically live forever. And that's another thing, because there was one with and it kind of makes sense with that Vandal story that was earlier in this, and that was actually kind of cool. And he uses his cooling breath to make like a little ice sculpture of John and Martha Kent, and and him when he was a kid, and I thought that was I thought that was really sweet. And then he goes before the Earth was destroyed, and just looking back on that, and that was that. Now this one was bittersweet. My bad. So here we are. It was pretty interesting. Now Perry White here, he's trying to get Clark and Jimmy Olsen to like work on some stuff, and Clark realizes that there's something crazy going on, and he has to stop it, and he only has 5 minutes to do everything, and then get the work that he needs to do into Perry before like that 5-minute deadline. And I thought that was fantastic. It's pretty interesting, and he helps this dude. I'm sure he knows him really well. He called him by name and what have you, and pretty sure he helped him on a number of occasions, and it was an interesting little story. I thought that was fun. But then he comes back on time and makes the deadline for his work, and yeah, that was cool. And now the next story, Action Land, and this girl and this girl is basically telling a bunch of tourists about Superman and his legacy, and different friends and foes that he made along the way, like the Justice League, and the foes here, like Darkseid, Doomsday. There's Lex, Bizarro, Brainiac, and that was a pretty cool, like nice touch there. And I'm not too familiar with this guy here. Whoop. I'm not too familiar with this guy. I think it might be Gorilla Grodd, but yeah, let me know down in the comments if you will, please. But and basically they were just telling the legacy of Superman, and Mr. Mixelplick, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He was basically doing like this entire huge reality bending simulation sort of thing, where they were basically like kind of in a role play thing, where she was where this girl was actually had like a little amusement park, like telling the story of Superman, and I don't know, it's kind of a sweet little thing, and Mixelplick like can bend reality or whatever, and they can actually like have like a little bit of fun without being maniacal and things like that, and that was pretty cool. And it's a nice little pinup by Walt Simonson. Then I mean, like, yeah, this story was okay, and Soups thought he probably wasn't gonna make it, and this girl like like turns her head in a certain way to where Superman would come in and block the bullet in a nick of time, and here's a conversation between Clark and Lois here, and I thought that was kind of sweet, so I'm gonna read it out for you guys. Okay. Everything okay, Clark? Like, absolutely, Lois. I see that look on your face. You met a good one today, didn't you? I meet a good one every day. You know what I'm saying, Clark. People always say they're inspired by you. But I know your real secret. You're the one inspired by them. And that was a beautiful little thing there. I like that bit. Brad Meltzer's the writer. Like, basically all these, all the artists so far were just fantastic. Loved it. And here we come to this last one, which is by Bendis, and just a lot of craziness is happening. Superman is being tossed around like a freaking rag doll by somebody, and these girls are like, oh, they're like, holy crap, it's Superman! Why is he here? Like, what's going on? And I mean, you know, okay, the bit about like the red underwear thing with those two girls or whatever, like, oh hey, he has the red underwear on again, and they're all like, whatever. Now, this is an interesting looking villain. He basically seems like he's like part Solomon Grundy, part zombie thing, I don't know. But and Supergirl comes in to help. I just love these dynamic action sequences with the art here. It's friggin' brilliant. And Superman gets back up and is still getting tossed around by this guy, and I can't remember what this guy's name was. It was Rogel Zar, and he's basically tossing around Supergirl as well, and he said that he was the one that destroyed Krypton, and like, it's basically like a retelling, but like, forgive me if I'm, or correct me if I'm wrong. I thought it was Brainiac or somebody else that destroyed Krypton, but I think this is like a retelling or whatever, like what happened to Krypton, I guess. But I don't know. But this is overall though. This is pretty, like, a really good book. The stories are pretty darn solid. If it's still available at your local comic book shop, then go ahead and pick it up. It's really it's a really good read. Just yeah, really good read. A lot of nice variant covers too. But yeah, if you wanna see more of this type of content, please like, share, and subscribe, and let me know down in the comments what I could do next. Okay, bye-bye. Oh. Here we go.